ChatGPT is just crazy to use, and you will see that when you're going through this course. But where does it come from? So in November 2022, 30th November of 2022, the company behind it, OpenAI, was releasing it to the public. It already exists for a longer period of time, and a couple of companies have been using it. Some of the chatbots that you might have encountered on a couple of websites have been using it before, but since November 2022, it is also available to us. And at the beginning, you needed to be on a waiting list in order to even get access to it. By now, you can just basically create an access, and you have an access in like 2 minutes. I'm going to show you later on how it's done. ChatGPT belongs to the category of generative AI. But what exactly is a generative AI? Generative AI refers to a category of artificial intelligence techniques and models that are designed to generate new content and data that is similar to the examples that it has been trained on. Sounds a little bit complicated, so let's try to make it a bit easier. Basically, generative AI is like having a smart computer friend that can create new things, just like an artist. Imagine you have a friend who loves to draw, and you give your friend a bunch of pictures to look at. So they study the pictures, and they study them really well, and they learn to draw similar things. And then they can use that knowledge that they have to draw new pictures that look like the ones that they have learned from, but they're actually new and different. So generative AI works in a similar way. So instead of drawings, it looks at examples of things like text, like images or music. And it learns the patterns and the rules from these examples, just like our artist friend. And then it can create new things that are similar to what it learned, but they are not exactly the same. So, for example, it can write a story in a similar style to what it read, or draw a picture that looks like the one that it saw before. And this technology is used in many, many different ways. It can help you with translating languages, it can make computer-generated art, it can compose music, it can even create new videos. And it's like having, a creative assistant that can make all sorts of new things based on what it learned from existing stuff. This is basically what generative AI is. So it is powered by special computer programs that use complex algorithms and deep learning techniques, and they are trained on lots of data to understand the patterns and create new things. And ChatGPT is one of these generative AIs, and what it's doing basically, it is using text to make new text. So it was trained on tons and tons of data, and it's combining all this data together. If you're asking it a question, it will give you an answer, and that answer sounds like a human being, because ChatGPT has learned on so much different text that it knows what you're expecting, and it's basically giving you an answer on what you're expecting. This is what it does. But what does ChatGPT really means? Chat? Yeah, you're chatting with it. GPT means generative pre-trained transformer. And that is basically it. It's generative. It's a generative AI. We've just explained what it is. And it is trained on text. Pre-trained transformer, it is pre-trained and it's transforming text. So if you're asking ChatGPT a question, it will give you an answer. If you are giving it a task to do, it will give you a task. In the next videos, we're going to take a look what you can do with it, so stay tuned.